guys, welcome to AROKA Media. My name is Millicent AROKA. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm telling you, breakfast has now become a choma maneno. And this morning we are at the Kenya Meat Commission Nyama Haven, where we are doing the program Impact. And with me this morning is a security expert. I love saying American trained security expert Tom Nduku. We'll be talking about matter security in the country. We are headed to an election. There's certain things that we need to know, that we need to do just so that we secure ourselves. We have to ensure that Kenya remains a peaceful country at this time. We've got to know exactly what politicians need to do, what the police need to do, just so that we stay safe and we head to the election in one piece. So we'll be talking to our security expert. He's here.
Yeah.
Karibu sana to the show, Tom.
Thank you.
Today you see how maneno is different.
Yeah, I would like to take a bite.
Actually, let me just tell you what's happening. This over here is nyama choma. When they came, we were like, let's do choma. And then Tom said, because there was mbuzi and he wanted ng'ombe.
Yes.
So he said the ng'ombe should come fry. Now, I just can't keep my fingers off the
ng'ombe one.
The fry looks so good.
Yes.
I think I'll just dig in. Hii ni yako, Tom.
No,
but I'll just get to taste.
Yeah, we have to test it.
Huh? Wow. This choma. It's good, eh? Okay. So, Tom, I can see you want to do this with Uma.
Yeah.
Me, I do it with my hands, man. So, let's just get down to it. I think we'll just have a little bite, and then, of course, we'll continue with this interview. So it's a great time that we are having. We actually had our nyama choma, and now we just felt like, enjoying the outside breeze here. And we are talking about matters security in the country, especially now that we are headed to an election. There are things that have been happening that are, of course, affecting the security of this country, some that we do not even know about, but we are going to be talking about them on the show today. Tom.
Yes.
Karibu sana on the show.
Asante.
Okay.
Right.
Before we get to so much on security,
Yes.
I'd like to talk to you about something that KRA, the Kenya Revenue Authority, has just proposed, so you can tell us what you think about it. They're thinking of putting body cams, those security cameras, just to watch over what their officers are doing, especially those who are working at the border points, the customs people, the domestic tax department, and also the ones who are at the JKIA. This is as a way of reducing what they say is, corruption by their own officers. What do you think about that? Do you think cameras is the way to go? Is this going to stop, the kind of corruption that perhaps has been happening at the border points?
Well, I tend to think that is a very extreme moment. If an organization is thinking that line, then the management of that institution has failed. Because one of the things that should have happened, it's not about KRA only. When you come to the borders, we have immigration officers, we have the police officers, we have the general service unit.
Are they all going to be putting on the body
So
cams?
when you are saying that, the way we handle issues of corruption in this country is very poor, because we approach issues with reactions. I would call that one a reaction of a frustrated moment. I think what we need to do is we can't say that all employees that we have in the civil service are bad. And I think we needed to have had a study of patterns. Because I think what they are crying there is about the revenue that we are not getting. And goods do not come from Kenya. Goods come from outside the country and they enter Kenya. So somebody is just sitting somewhere thinking of blaming the person who is clearing the goods Yet, they have data when those goods are loaded from their respective ends to Kenyan destination. And in that end, they know what is being carried. They know what taxation it should be. So by the landing point here, they should have known who is supposed to pay what. So when it doesn't come out in calculations, then the head of station should be able to explain why the projection is giving us this and this is what the actual which you are giving us. Managing crisis in this country needs only good brains around and people mean to help their nation.
So let's go beyond the body cameras and the fact that you've said it's not just about the Kenya Revenue Authority officers alone at the border points. Do you feel as a country we need to cultivate it in us to be more loyal, you know, so that we are actually just doing our job?
I think to help this country right now, there is need to go back what we were in early 70s. I'll give you an example. Most of households in my tribe, like Luo Nyanza, we were not a very rich family, if I talk on the Luo community. And you'll find that the dad used to work in Kenya Railway, or post office, or with the City Council of Nairobi, where he would, or public works, where he would hardly earn more than 1,000 shillings. Here you are, you're about 5, very clever people, very clever family. You'd find that the eldest person, either a girl or a son, would not go beyond Form 4. He would have passed, maybe had passed exams, was to go to A level, but there was no money. So he chooses to go for employment to help the rest of the family. He would either go to start teaching as a trained teacher, or he would join one of the disciplined forces, either Kenya Army or Kenya Police. They knew why they got those jobs.
They were serious in that.
And they became Kenya. And they became Kenyans. That's what took us from 1963 to around 1980, when we started messing up this country. At that point, we had passion. There was no employment where people were giving out money. It was about service. People wanted a lot of money, went to private sector. Because even that private sector was being monitored, being watched, being looked through. Delivery was the purpose, was the order of the day. Public works, people would work overtime. That's why you'd find that somebody would come home for leave and he stays more than 6 months. So you thought that he was sacked. It is because he used to work longer hours. But since government does not pay overtime, it is calculated in your leave. So the rest of the things which they could get, well, they would get transport allowance. There was a Kenya Railway ticket for most of them. Those are things that we used to get from government. But we started messing this country when we started employing our own relatives. That was the mess of this country. Nobody should cheat you. People are stealing not because they were born thieves. It's about the carelessness and the manner in which you have gotten employment. You can't be a police officer and you can lease a gun to a thug to go and rob somebody. If indeed you got a job that you really wanted. It is just because a relative is senior, is in a very good position, maybe is a superintendent of police who will go for recruitment. Then you go and see your auntie, he will tell you, this boy is disturbing me, take him to the police. So this is a wrong boy, he has now been given a gun, added on his own character. I don't think you expect any good service from that kind of